Good morning. So this vlog today we are hoping to go to we're hoping, to go to Molesey Lock and show you how to operate a self-service electric lock. Because there are lots of videos of manual locks, which I was going to say are quite easy, but I guess if you've never done one, it's not easy. But the first time I got to an electric lock and had to operate it myself, I had a little bit of a meltdown because I didn't know what to do. So we thought it might be good to actually show you how to operate an electric lock on your own. There's quite a lot of history around Molesey Lock as well, so we're going to tell you a little bit about that, hopefully. And also, we've been deliberating for months actually about our steps. So on our boat we have a flatter roof and then we have steps going up to the roof, which is brilliant. However, there's one downside, and that is when it rains, when it pours with rain, it washes all the way down the roof and floods the step and then floods the stern as well.
Comes off like a waterfall.
Yeah, but we have temporary flooring down, which means and like mats and stuff like that. So every time it rains, chucks it down, starts coming down the steps, we have to take all the flooring up, and it's a little bit of a pain.
Yeah, it gets all wet and the wet stays underneath against the metal floor, which is not ideal.
No. So after months of deliberation, we think we've come up with a plan, so hopefully we will be doing that as well. So let's see how we get on.
Let's get going.
Yep. So we're coming up to Garrick's Temple to Shakespeare. Been past this quite a few times, but never really looked up what it was. So being a drama teacher, it's of interest to me. So we're going to go past slowly and have a little look. So it's about to come into view now. And it was built in the 18th century by an actor called David Garrick. And in 1756, he built it to celebrate the genius of William Shakespeare, whose plays Garrick performed in throughout his career. So during his lifetime, Garrick used it to house his extensive collection of Shakespearean relics and for entertaining his family and guests. So it passed through a succession of owners until coming into public ownership in the 1930s. But it had fallen into disrepair by the end of the 20th century. After a campaign supported by actors and donations from the National Lottery's Good Causes Fund, it was restored in the late 1990s and reopened to the public as a museum, and supposedly the world's only shrine to Shakespeare. Okay, so this is Molesey Lock, which is obviously on the River Thames at East Molesey on the right bank. The lock was first built in 1815 by the Corporation of London, rebuilt in the mid-1800s and again in 1905, and then yet again in 1964 when the original wooden beams were removed and a new hydraulic system installed. It's the second longest on the river at 268 foot 4 inches. It's also the second lowest of the non-tidal river. Upstream of the lock are moorings for small boats, and then a few metres upstream is a combined side weir and front weir and low backwater against the opposite bank, which forms the waterside to homes sometimes called the Hampton Riviera. 100 or more years ago, Molesey Lock was the most popular lock on the Thames. Hundreds and thousands of pleasure boats passed through. You'd see men in bright blazers, boaters and flannels, and ladies under colourful parasols. This was the heyday of the Molesey Regatta, which still takes place annually and, funnily enough, is taking place today. From 2007, River Thames was loaded with thousands of plastic ducks for a race downstream between Molesey Lock and Albany Reach. The annual event was usually held on a Sunday after the August bank holiday. The Great British Duck Race raised thousands of pounds for a range of charities, and in 2009 featured 205,000 ducks, smashing the world record of 175,000 held by the Chinese. But in 2010, the duck race had to be called off due to not being able to find a sponsor. What are the chances that we did some research about Molesey Lock and the regatta? We turn up to Molesey Lock and the regatta's on.
Yeah, big signs, reach closed. I looked, I didn't find it.
No.
I was like, everything's good, weather's good, river conditions good, no closures, nothing. We get there, chalkboard. Okay. I mean, it's probably there for everyone to see apart from me.
Yeah. But I don't think I would be brave enough to go through a lock in a rowing boat.
There was loads, what, 4 in there? 3 in there?
Yeah, they so I mean we still timed it quite well because we only had to wait a little while before the river opened again and we could carry on. So they're sort of coming to the end of their race, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they were all going through Molesey Lock. Oh, that's brave. One of the little rowboats was sort of turning as the water was coming in.
Crossing the river in front of us.
Oh, yeah, we've got quite a few rowboats
all
now.
suicidal.
Story of our lives.
It is. Look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them decided now's a good time to cross the river.
Yep.
I don't know what's going on. Why do they do this?
Just another day in boating.
Stress me out.
We've just seen the amazing flying man.
Mr. Bond.
He literally looks like James Bond. I think I've captured him on video. Don't know how good it is, so I'm hoping it's really good. He literally
just going round and round our boat, having a
chat with us. He's got a coal craft.
65.
Yeah, 65 foot. So we just had a chat. It was absolutely amazing. I seen literally flew what they called hoverboards.
Well, yeah, like a hydroboard, isn't it? Hydrofoil thing. So on, man.
Yeah, so cool. Anyway, the Environment Agency, it seems, has been cracking down on sort of abandoned boats. Well, abandoned? No, non-licensed boats.
Unlicensed boats.
Unlicensed boats, and
down the Molesey Reach, isn't it? Between Molesey and Hampton.
Hampton Court, yeah. they've been slapping on notices, and we've seen quite a few boats going along with enforcement notices, I guess.
Like parking tickets,
looks like a parking ticket, yeah, on their windows. So, yeah, I guess they're cracking down. I mean, I suppose it's quite good because we've seen so many sunken boats, haven't we? But then they don't have notices on because I guess nobody really cares about them.
They have put other notices on what they believe to be abandoned or half sunk boats, and they'll be taking them out, scrapping them and selling them off.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long that takes.
No. I suppose it is quite good in some ways.
At last they're starting to get on with it.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it down here and it's just rammed full of boats, and you're like, where'd they come from? We've got to watch the rowers that are coming up in my rearview mirror. Here they go.
Every time we turn the video on, there's rowers.
Yeah.
I can't believe they're still out in November. Oh, in their skinny little suits.
I know. Look, shit, there's another lot back there.
Oh, you can see them just here.
Yeah, I saw them in the camera. You're acting as my mirror. It's great.
So I can't believe we got to speak to the amazing flying man. We did a little short video where we captured 2 of them. They go so quick, don't they? It was amazing that he was going around the boat and having a chin wag. So
they get up to 30 miles an hour.
Mad, absolutely mad.
I know.
And he makes it look so easy. The way he was just floating around, hovering around, having a little chat. Amazing, absolutely amazing. So, if you see a blue sign like this, self-service, the gates actually shouldn't be open, somebody has left them open. You have to operate the lock yourself. So, I'm going to show you how. So you're going to see a control panel, and the first thing I need to do is shut the gates. Next thing you need to do is make sure the sluices are closed. Which they are. So now we need to go down to the other end to open the sluices. So here I am at the other end of the lock. There's Richard and Vivere, and now I need to open the sluices. And the sluices have come up. I'll show you. There we go, the water's starting to come in, and I think this lock, some locks you have to wait and you press the sluice button 3 times. I think though this one is automatic, so once you've done the first press of the sluices, after a certain amount of time, the sluices themselves will then go up in 3 stages. You might think it's a bit scary doing a big lock like this on your own, but actually it's quite calm, as long as it's not chock-a-block. I guess because Vivere is very big as well, it's quite easy, especially going up. It's not too bad at all. You can see Richard's got the centre line and the stern line. If the lock is manned, we tend to do a bow and a stern line, but it's you can't reach the bow and the stern line on your own. So yeah, as I mentioned, this lock, it is automatic, so the sluices have just done their second phase of opening. So the only controls you really need to know about are those 4: sluices open, sluices closed, gates open, gates closed. And it's a lot simpler than it seems when you first encounter one. So you find as well, when you're at one of these locks and it's manned and there's a lock keeper here, it goes a lot quicker. They have an override key, which means they can control the lock and they can let the water in or out a bit quicker. So that's obviously not operational when you're doing it self-service. And there you go, that is the third stage. So I now know that's the last stage of the sluices opening. So the last bit of water will be coming in, and then I'll be able to open the gates. There we go, so pressing gates open. Gates are opening. And close the sluices. And this time round it looks like I won't have to close the gates once Richard has gone, because there's a narrowboat coming up, so we can leave the gates open for them. So that was a self-service lock. Quite easy once you know how. I freaked out the first time I had to do one, so it might be informative for some people. Because the gates were open, I had to climb up onto the roof of the boat and then hop off the side. Ordinarily the gates would be shut with more up first. I'd get off and walk up to the lock to operate it, but that time we didn't need to. So hopefully, if you've never experienced one before, you might have learned something. So we've had a big busy weekend, and we've got one more thing left to do today. So we need to try and cure the waterfall that floods down our steps when it pours down with the rain. So we think we've got a plan, and we're going to show you what we're going to do. Okay, so Richard has bought this stuff that he's trying to get in right now.
We've got a fair bit. Ta-da!
So it's just like rubber.
Yeah. Well, it is like a door strip.
Yeah. So you'd normally, where would you normally use that then?
Around the door.
Okay. Fair enough. And we did think we thought we were going to bond it, didn't we? First of all.
Yeah, we were going to silicone the ends to waterproof it, but I don't think we need to really.
No, we're going to just go with the sticky stuff provided and see whether that's enough.
I think it will be.
So obviously the water runs literally down the sort of gully there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's meant to run down there and then disappear down there.
But because we've got the steps,
it comes off of here, runs that direction, and then goes wah!
All the way down the steps.
Yeah, and then we get wet. Ugh. Now I can't see. So what, from about there, like that?
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens when it rains.
And then the idea for having the rubber is because obviously we do walk up and down the steps, don't we? And it will just squish.
And then if you do kick it, it's not going to hurt.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So we also have a similar problem with it sort of running down here by the hatch. So again, Richard's going to just put a little bit.
End it like there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it runs down the cover and it comes that way.
Yeah.
Puddles there and then runs off of there onto the gas locker.
Onto the gas locker here.
And makes a nice mess. I was going to stick that. I can't come right into here.
No.
So I might just sort of end it like that. That'll be enough, won't it?
Yeah. just to encourage the water to flow out of the little gullies.
And we'll see what happens.
Yeah. We've got one little bit there. See how that goes. And one little bit there.
Hopefully it'll do something.
See how that goes. So that was quite eventful. And we finished off with, hopefully, we hope, a solution to stop the waterfall. We'll let you know how it goes. Fingers crossed.
Or it might not just rain. It might be fine.
Yeah, that's right. It probably won't rain now, which would be good. And as always, if you enjoy our videos, give us a little cheeky like and subscribe to our channel. Apparently you can hit a bell icon as well, which I think some people already have done, which will notify you when we bring out a new video. And if you so fancy, you can also now buy us a coffee. So there is a link, I think, if you're watching it on TV, up above. If not, it's under the About section or in the description below. So see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.